everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. And so as you're coming in, please be sure to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Okay, if you enjoy the commentary, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to like and share. All right. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page, and you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Everyone, please go ahead and get the likes up. Hold on, let me pull up this receipt real quick. Pull up this receipt. Here it is right here. So I'm going to tell you the preface to this story. I'm going to tell you this is about a wanton supremacist who has been sentenced. Okay, he had all these guns and he was a felon, and he said that he wanted to kill Black people. Okay, mainly Black Lives Matter protesters and Antifa. So let's talk about it. Now, before he was sentenced, this is what was reported. Hamlin white supremacist, according to prosecutors, said he wanted to shoot and kill Black people. Now, federal prosecutors are asking for the maximum sentence for a Hamlin man with a history of racist crimes who was admitted to illegally having firearms. Stephen Patterson, that's his name, is scheduled to be sentenced on Monday, May the 23rd. Well, he's already been sentenced. We'll get to that momentarily. Now, he was supposed to be sentenced by U.S. District Judge David Larimer, and federal prosecutors had asked for a maximum sentence of 10 years. So in court papers, federal prosecutors portray Patterson as a convicted violent felon and a white supremacist who illegally possessed 2 firearms and ammunition after stating that his sole purpose and intent was to shoot and kill Black Lives Matter protesters and African Americans at a genocidal rate. Now, Patterson's sentencing was supposed to come just over a week after the fatal mass shooting of 10 Black people in the Top supermarket in Buffalo. So they say federal prosecutors filed paperwork seeking the maximum sentence for Patterson, and this was months before the Buffalo shooting. And so they say it's likely that Patterson's defense attorney, Assistant Federal Public Defender Stephen Slawinski, that he will maintain that the 2 men, Patterson and the suspected shooter, Peyton Gendron, are very different, as are the criminal cases. That's what they're saying. Now, Slawinski has argued in court papers that there is absolutely no evidence that Patterson intended to use the guns for violence, but instead feared that he and others could be endangered by protesters with Black Lives Matter or BLM. But how does that even make a bit of sense? He thought that he and others would be in danger. Here's the thing. If you think you're going to be in danger from being around Black Lives Matter protesters or any other protesters, how about you just not go to the protest? Isn't it that simple? I mean, these devils, honey, they always have some type of BS excuse. Now, they go on to say that enraged by the protest in the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd, a Black man who was asphyxiated by the police officer in Minneapolis, Patterson made numerous social media postings with threats against Black Lives Matter and Antifa, the latter which began as an anti-fascist movement but has no centralized organization. Now, they say in the months preceding his acquisition of the firearms and ammunition, the defendant expressed his rage about racial minorities and BLM/Antifa and stated that he was ready for a racist holy war. That's what the prosecutor, the assistant U.S. attorney, Brett Harvey, said. And so a convicted felon, Patterson could not own guns in the first place. Pay attention. He was arrested by the U.S. Marshal Service in October of 2020 on an outstanding warrant from Missouri, where he had absconded from parole after convictions of a domestic violent crime. Now, in 2016, he committed a crime in Missouri, where Patterson struck his girlfriend in the legs, grabbed her by the neck with both arms, and choked her so hard she was unable to breathe. Then punched her in the back of the head, threatened to drown and smother her to death, and then threatened to have his cousin shoot her in the face. I mean, clearly nefarious and definitely violent. What is his lawyer talking about that he wasn't going to use those guns for violence? Honey, what else could he possibly have been aiming to use them for? He's a whole thug. Now, after his arrest as a parole absconder, Deputies with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office searched Patterson's Hamlin home or his Hamlin residence and found a shotgun, a rifle, and ammunition. Now, according to federal prosecutors, Patterson's racist animus had also been evident in other misdemeanor crimes. Now, pay attention to this comparison. They say in 2009, he was convicted of a misdemeanor hate crime in Macedon, in which he called the victim the N-word and then broke the victim's patio furniture and threw it at the victim's residence. In East Rochester in 2013, he and another individual walked down the street yelling white supremacy, and he ripped down a woman's Mexican flag from her porch and then pushed her in the face and called her an ethnic slur. Then in 2018, as if that wasn't already enough, in Tonawanda, Erie County, he yelled racist epithets in a pub and was then asked to leave. Well, upon being asked to leave, honey, he was so angry and full of it that he shattered the mirror of a truck in the parking lot and then began waving a hunting knife at an individual, shouting, "I will kill everyone in this house and I will kill myself before I go back." This is what the fool said. Clearly a demon, honey. Pay attention. Now, with the firearms crime, prosecutors say that Patterson made telephone calls from the jail in which he tried to get others to say the gun belonged to them. Donald O'Shear, a local man, has pleaded guilty to giving Patterson the shotgun and ammunition while knowing Patterson was a felon. Now, O'Shear knew that Patterson also said he planned to shoot BLM or Antifa members if they came to his neighborhood, according to the plea of O'Shear, who has yet to be sentenced. Well, he needs to be sentenced, honey, because clearly he was complicit, and this is absolutely conspiracy. You gave a felon who's not even supposed to be in possession of weapons, you gave him weapons and ammunition, and then you knew that he had planned to murder people with it? Oh, yeah, this is clearly conspiracy. Let's see how far this goes. So, under federal sentencing guidelines, which are advisory for judges, Patterson's sentence would be between 46 and 57 months. Now, with the plea, prosecutors serve the right to ask for a more punitive sentence, up to the maximum of 10 years. They say such a sentence would promote respect for the law and deter the defendant and others in the district and elsewhere in the United States also from illegally possessing firearms and ammunition and threatening racial violence. This is what Assistant U.S. Attorney Harvey wrote in court papers. Let me tell you something, honey. I don't think that would have done anything to deter them, because most often people like this, they're going to find one way or another to carry out their nefarious plans. That's just what it is. And so they say Assistant Federal Public Defender Slawinski has countered that Patterson's words may be reprehensible, but that he did not show signs of using the guns for violence. Oh, really? What did he have to do? Point and pull the trigger? Is that what his attorney was waiting on? I think it all makes sense. Now, goes on to say that in spite of the language in his message, the government concedes that there is no evidence that Patterson committed any violent act here. Well, I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, he was in possession of guns illegally. He's a whole felon. So what's the thing about that? I mean, what does his attorney have to say about that? I mean, whether he wanted to use them for violence or not, he wasn't supposed to have them in the first place. And with his record and the things that he posted to social media and what other people who were around him have said, he absolutely intended to use those guns for violence, to kill Black people, no less. Said that he was ready for a racist holy war. And I'm sure he was. Okay? So they can miss us with it. Now, this is the most current information after he's been sentenced. Judge sentenced this Monroe County white supremacist, says the guns were part of a racist agenda. So the federal judge on Monday sentenced a local white supremacist to 8 years for illegal firearms possession, telling the man that he likely got the guns as part of a racist agenda. Now, the sentence of Stephen Patterson, who's a convicted felon, could not own or have guns in his possession. Now, that was less, his sentence, that is, was less than the 10 years that was sought by prosecutors, but significantly over the sentence recommended according to federal guidelines. The recommended sentence range, which judges do not have to follow if they find exceptional reasons not to do so, were 46 to 57 months. Now, in the aftermath of the racist and other violence, people often ask, were there any warning signs? Were there any red flags? Well, U.S. District Judge David Lorimer said on Monday in the sentencing of Patterson that there were many red flags that could predict future violence from Patterson. This is what Lorimer said. Now, Patterson, age 33, had numerous racist social media postings, many in which he spoke of violence against Black people. While Patterson claimed he took illegal possession of the shotgun and the rifle for his family to have, he was returning to prison for violating parole. Now, prosecutors contended that it was evident from his social media posts that he was inclined to use the guns for racist-fueled violence. Let me tell you what. Some of these racist demons just walk around here just looking for any opportunity, excuse, or chance to exact their violence, their savagery on Black people. Now, for no good reason other than for you being Black, other than for us having a chemical known as melanin in our skin. That's what it is. Now, my thing is, his attorney can sit here and say that he wasn't going to use it for violence, but for a person who has a history of violence and who's already known to be racist, who admittedly is a wannabe white supremacist, who posted numerous hateful, wicked things on social media and even told others of his plans to do so as far as killing Black people in a genocidal rage, right? I mean, his attorney should be ashamed of himself. I know it's his job and duty, to defend his client, but please don't sit there and lie and try to make these excuses for him, honey, when you already know what happened out there in Buffalo. This would have been another catastrophe had he gotten away with it. And the person who gave him those guns, they absolutely need to be charged. They absolutely need to be sentenced and sent to prison because they're likely just as racist as he is, hence the reason they gave him the guns and ammunition in the first place. Clearly on code. Now, Patterson has a history of racist misdemeanor crimes in which he called individuals racist or ethnic epithets and then destroyed their property. He was also convicted in Missouri for domestic violence. Now, a search of his Hamlin home after the arrest unearthed the firearms and the ammunition, and scrutiny of his social media added more proof beyond his past convictions of his white supremacist ideology. While in jail after the arrest, he tried to get his friends to lie and said the guns belonged to them. I'm sure he did. And so anyway, they say his attorney, Assistant Federal Public Defender Stephen Slowinski, argued that the social media posts showed no intent to commit crimes, but were instead claims of Patterson of what he would do if Black Lives Matter or Antifa protesters came to his neighborhood during the 2020 protests. Well, let me tell you something. First of all, why would they come to his neighborhood? They're out there protesting against social injustices. So I doubt they would come to his neighborhood as if they were coming to look or hunt for him. Okay? And the fact that he said those things out of his mouth absolutely does show intent, absolutely does show that he has a history of, or that he is still violent, as his history has also shown. So I'm not buying any of this foolishness. Now, Assistant U.S. Attorney Brett Harvey cited some of Patterson's social media postings in court, one of which Patterson wrote, "Go ahead, N-words, defund the police so I can just start effing murdering you all in a genocidal rape by effing myself." Wow. They'll be calling me the angel of death. They'll be calling me the new Joseph Mengele. Now, in imposing the 8-year sentence, Lorimer ruled that sentencing guidelines did not accurately weigh the seriousness of Patterson's past racist crimes or his likelihood to commit new crimes. Now, they say violence seems to be your middle name, Lorimer. This is what the judge told this devil. Noting that Patterson has the word violence tattooed on his hand. Lorimer quoted a line from the late renowned Black poet and memorist Maya Angelou, and said that when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them. My guess is that not someone who works with you. This is what the judge said to Patterson, encouraging him to perhaps read Maya Angelou while he's in prison. So anyway, let me show you a picture of this demon. I mean, walking around here mad at Black people. Why? Because you fat and ugly and you look like a whole nefarious thug. I mean, really looking like he crawled out from literally under a rock. And these tattoos on his face. Yeah. One of them is the white supremacist or the wannabe white supremacist sign, too. One of the symbols. So let me share my screen so you all can see this video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. And also a shout out to those who will watch this later. Okay? So here he is. Just look at it. Please. The devils do so hate black folks, do they not? So anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Now let's talk about this. Who owns Creamalicious? Walmart accused of stealing Juneteenth ice cream from Black-owned business. Well, that's no surprise. I mean, they're always stealing something from Black people one way or another and appropriating our culture. So they say, as Juneteenth is approaching next month, the Black community is all set to join the annual celebration of Juneteenth as a whole to signify the ending of slavery in America. Now, they say many brands have already started rolling their brand strategies out to join the celebration. However, Walmart has received backlash. Okay, that's right, I said backlash, for its inappropriate brand strategy of launching Juneteenth ice cream. I mean, the nerve, right? These people don't care anything about Black people, honey. They don't care anything about Juneteenth. All they care about is blood and revenue. And so however they can benefit and profit off of Black people is exactly what they will do, honey, even if they have to beg, borrow, and steal. And trust me, we know that wanton supremacists absolutely steal. So let me continue, honey. They say the ice cream flavor being promoted by Walmart is believed to be stolen from a successful Black business. That's no surprise. They say share and celebrate African-American culture, emancipation, and enduring hope. That's what it says on the label. Now, the ice cream consisted of a swirl of red velvet and cheesecake flavor. Apparently, this red velvet flavor is believed to be stolen from a brand called Creamalicious, which launched the red velvet ice cream for Juneteenth. Walmart's Juneteenth ice cream received a huge backlash from people, and they were quite critical of the ice cream and called out Walmart for its inappropriate branding. Now, after the criticism online, in a statement to Fox television stations, Walmart then tried to mail-explain basically, okay? They issued a formal apology. They said, Juneteenth holiday marks the celebration of freedom and independence. However, we received feedback that a few items caused concern for some of our customers, and we sincerely apologize. We are reviewing our assortment and will remove these items as appropriate. They don't care anything about their Black customers. That's what they don't care about. They also don't care about cultural appropriation and stealing ideas and things that don't belong to them. They don't care any about or anything about any of those items or those things, right? That's what they don't do. They don't care anything about it. The only reason they're apologizing is because they've been called out and exposed. And they obviously, I don't know if they didn't think anyone would notice or just didn't care. Because here's the thing. A lot of these corporations will absolutely take ideas and inventions from Black people and then, try to put their stamp on it and act as though they created it and came up with it so they can make a profit. Often they do this because they feel like the Black owners who actually came up with these ideas will not be able to stand up to them in court because it can be very costly. And many of these corporations have millions and even billions of dollars. So they often think, well, they'll just go away. If we just throw them a few dollars, they'll just be quiet. And that's likely what it is, as far as I'm concerned. Now, people promoted Creamalicious ice cream instead of Walmart's Juneteenth ice cream, as they should. A Twitter user wrote, instead of getting that Juneteenth ice cream from Walmart, get this instead. Black owned, and it's good. See, that's what I'm talking about, honey. Give your free advertising to Black owned companies because so many Negroes go out here and they give free advertisement, in the millions of dollars, right? To companies that don't care anything about us and who in fact try to fool and deceive us. For example, Popeye. Now they made over $30 million in free advertisement off of Black people. And with that all being said, I'm sure some of these Black people are the same ones who will be so quick to complain about Black-owned businesses, saying that their prices are too high, because they don't want to give them freebies because they're actually running a business and they desire to make a profit just as these other companies do. But they don't have any smoke for them. But so many of them will have smoke for Black-owned businesses. It's just like the crabs in the barrel mentality, right? It's also ridiculous. But so anyway, I'm glad that they're sticking up for this company and putting Walmart in line, okay? Putting them in check. And so they say award-winning podcast host Tracy, aka Bad Bonet, wrote that, can't believe Walmart is selling cool flavored ice cream for Juneteenth. Shaking my head. One user wrote, red velvet ice cream isn't a new concept. However, Walmart should have worked with a Black brand if they're going to promote or do something for Juneteenth. That, and they should pay their employees a living wage. But anyway, they say, I see no lies detected so far. Now, one user called it capitalism. He wrote, capitalism is awesome. So another user wrote, Walmart literally saw a successful small Black business and thought they could get away with stealing their flavor and rebranding it for Juneteenth. Anyways, Creamalicious is available at Target. So Creamalicious is owned by Chef Liz Rogers, who lives in Ohio. Now, in a report by Southern Living, Chef Liz Rogers said that the red velvet cake literally was a celebration cake. It's what African Americans ate to celebrate their freedom. Now, we talk about the porch light peach cobbler, and it's very symbolic to the light is always staying on. If you saw that light on someone's porch, it just means welcome. This house is safe. Now, Creamalicious is minority-owned and woman-owned, and Chef Liz employs a diverse team while making a point to work with minority and female-owned businesses. Now, they say last year, President Joe Biden signed a bill creating Juneteenth National Independence Day. Since June 19th fell on a Saturday, the government observed the holiday Friday. However, National Independence Day seems to be commercialized by the brand. In a viral video by @KevOnStage, he made it clear how different brands, mostly owned by whites, have commercialized Juneteenth. I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, this is commonplace. This happens all the time. If you remember, Sophia Stewart, the woman who wrote the book called The Third Eye, which is about the Matrix, where they got the movie from, and also she wrote about the Terminator, right? These things were taken from her, and Caucasians made a profit off of it, and then she had to fight them in court to get anything from her own work. And there's been numerous of times, like I've said, where these things have happened, and Black people, their credit is stolen from them, their work is stolen from them, and they don't get to generate any revenue for things they absolutely came up with, okay? This is also nefarious, but these things continue. And the sad thing is many of our own people support the same types of people or the same corporations and organizations that do these things. How does that make any sense? So one Twitter user accused Walmart of trying to bastardize Juneteenth with its use of Pan-African and Ethiopian flag colors in the packaging design. One user wrote, no, because the fact that Walmart tried to trademark Juneteenth is the final nail in the coffin for companies using celebrations of certain groups as a marketing scheme. So anyway, this is just also crazy. Also crazy. Let me share my screen so you can see this. I mean, like I said, they will take anything and everything they can from Black people, honey, with no F's given, act as though they came up with it themselves, came up with the whole entire idea. And when they get caught and busted, exposed, well, they'll just simply play dumb and act as though they didn't have know anything about it, as if they don't have a clue why they're being accused or why anyone's even upset. So there you can see the Walmart brand right here, and this is Creamalicious. That's Creamalicious. So anyway, let me continue. Now they say there's an update. Since the publishing of the original article, Walmart has apologized for its Great Value Juneteenth celebration edition of ice cream. A Walmart spokesperson told Fox, Juneteenth holiday marks a celebration of freedom and independence. However, we received feedback that a few items caused concern for some of our customers, and we sincerely apologize. We're reviewing our assortment and will remove these items as appropriate. Honey, I'm definitely going to remove anything. And here's another thing, too, to point out. First of all, they're saying that they, really didn't mean to do all of this, and they apologized, and this is not who we are. Here that comes again, right? Please pay attention. And then so the spokesperson said they really just wanted to celebrate the freedom and independence. Right. I'm so sure. Okay. Now, As Juneteenth is approaching next month, the Black community is all set to join the annual celebration of Juneteenth as a whole to signify the ending of slavery in America. Many brands have already started rolling their brand strategies out to join the celebration. However, Walmart has received backlash for its inappropriate brand strategy. So everyone get those likes up. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. So they go on to say, share and celebrate African-American culture, emancipation, and enduring hope. That's what they put on the label. Now, the ice cream consisted of a swirl of red velvet and cheesecake flavors. Apparently, this red velvet flavor is believed to have been stolen from a brand called Creamalicious, which launched red velvet cream or ice cream for Juneteenth. Walmart's Juneteenth ice cream received a huge backlash from people, and they were quite critical of the ice cream and called out Walmart for its inappropriate branding. After the criticism online, in a statement to Fox television stations, Walmart issued a formal apology. It said Juneteenth marks a celebration of freedom and independence. However, we received feedback that a few items caused concern for some of our customers, and we're so sorry. We apologize. We are reviewing the assortment, our assortment, and will remove items as appropriate. Yeah, sure they will. So anyway, it's just all become so commercialized, you know, ever since President Biden signed the bill creating it into a national independence holiday. They can miss me with it. They can absolutely miss me with it. So with that all being said, I'm not surprised. Like I said, they do this all the time. Anytime they can take something and get the credit and make money off of it that Black people came up with, created, they're going to absolutely do it. And just bank on the fact that hopefully the Black person who came up with it or the Black business that owns it, you know, or that created it, that they just won't be able to afford to fight them in court. And so they think they'll get away with these things. And the sad thing is, very often they do. So that's just what it is, honey. So with that all being said, let's talk about this fight at the airport. United Airlines employee, honey, got his ace whooped, okay? Fighting this Black man, honey, I don't know what he was thinking. Clearly, he wasn't thinking in his right frame of mind. I would just have to venture to guess. Because he really got that ace smacked, okay? He got knocked the F out. That's what he did. And so let's get into it. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell. Click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And so now United Airlines worker is fired after a brawl with an ex-NFL player at the Newark airport. Like I said, I really don't know what Chad was thinking, but he obviously wasn't thinking too clearly. I'm going to share my screen in just a second so you all can see the melee for yourself. Now, the United Airlines employee caught in a shocking video slugging it out with former NFL player at Newark Airport last week has been fired. Okay, United Ground Express informed us that the employee has been terminated. This is what an airline rep said in an email referring to the company's Connection subsidiary. The viral footage captured the unidentified worker. Yeah, they never want to tell those names, do they? Still on code, but anyway. Said they show the unidentified worker shoving ex-Denver Broncos cornerback Brendan Langley, who then unleashes a flurry of blows that send the employee reeling at about 11 a.m. on Thursday. The dazed uniformed staffer then puts his dukes up and proceeds to slap the much larger athlete across the face. Okay, so let's just roll the footage. Let's just roll the footage, honey. No need to talk about it when we can just watch it. Everyone get those likes up. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, okay? Also, and clearly hilarious, might I say. I'm just Shocking video captured the moment a passenger and a United Airlines employee squared off at the Newark airport and has gone viral on Twitter. Unbelievable so the airline worker hit the passenger, who then knocks the worker back. Then TMZ identified the passenger Broncos quarterback Langley, who is now a receiver for the Calgary Stampede in Canada, was arrested Thursday and charged. United Airlines employee has since been fired. Well, I'll tell you one thing, honey. I bet you he learned his lesson. Okay? I don't even know what he was thinking in the first place. And here's the thing, though. Why was the NFL player, why was he arrested? If anything, they both should have been arrested if they're going to do it like that. I mean, for mutual combat. But that was a clear-cut case of self-defense. So I'm just wondering why he was arrested. And they're going to arrest him and not going to deem it as self-defense. But pay attention. Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 people. 2 of them died. And they wanted to say that was self-defense. So just pay attention to the discrepancies, honey, in this nefarious, unjust justice system. All very interesting. But I'll tell you what, he got knocked the F out, okay? Please. And then what was funny was he started to walk back up to the guy and then tried to fight some more, putting his little old dukes up like he was about to really throw them hands, honey. Well, he did throw those hands for a minute, but guess what? Then he was thrown to the floor, okay, and left leaking. All right? So he's fired, but yeah, he should have been locked up, as far as I'm concerned, because he started that whole melee. He absolutely started and should have been locked up. And so anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right? Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page, and you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of this lovely evening, and I will talk to you all again.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dupes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only